Buen día a todos aquí. My name is Gianni Kovacevic. I come from Vancouver, Canada, and today I'm going to talk about the future of your energy. My friends in the back have set up my beautiful slides, and what we're looking at here is New York City. This is not possible without energy. And what I'm going to talk about is how the future of energy is going to impact you, the consumer. I'm going to speak slow and clear, so my translator in the back will do a very good job. It's very important. The question we all have to ask ourselves, is this the beginning of the end of the oil age? And this fantastic graphic you see here, it depicts this question. And I look back at it as a historian. I love history. As a child, we used to read encyclopedias in National Geographic, unlike other kids who were playing video games. Not me, my brother. We love history. This is the most important date in the history of energy, because this was the day they discovered oil in a big way. This was truly the world's first oil gusher. It was South Texas, and many people, of course, thought there would be nothing there. And it was drilled by a man named Anthony Lucas. He came from Croatia. He was born in 1855. His name was Anton Lucic. And sure enough, this changed the world. To this very day, that would be considered one of the great oil gushers of the world. And what happened at this time is that all the machines that we know were developed. Airplanes, trains, the first cars. This is Horatio's drive. Horatio Nelson, he drove across America in 1903. This is the route he took. He started in San Francisco and he drove, it took him about 75 days, and he made it to New York City. And I have something in common with Horatio because I was the first person in the world to drive an electric car across America to do my book tour to prove a point. The future, amigos y amigas, is now. And I did this, and I had to show them. And I had to do it the hard way. And if you see the media I did, and I used this as somewhat of a publicity stunt, this picture here is me charging my car, and the route I took. Now, Horatio went the north way, I went the south way. 13,000 kilometers I drove. And I'm here to tell you, I did not have a problem. People always ask me about climate change. There are people in the world that do not believe in climate change. And there are those that believe we must do something. They ask me, Gianni, you're an expert in energy. What do you believe? It's the right thing to do. When we look at the gentleman pictured here, he does not believe in climate change. I believe as a customer, it's the convenience and the future that I will have, me and my family and everyone around the world. This car here is the famous London cab. Everyone recognizes it. Anyone that's been to London surely has driven in one. They're diesel. You will not be able to buy one unless it's electric. The interesting thing here is this company, this famous English company, it was bought by the Chinese. It's not owned by the English anymore. The Chinese are leaders in this space. And what I always stress to people is understanding and respecting the gravity, the magnitude of what this car represents in all its facets. This is the city of London, and this is a smog problem. We have this around the world. So you can talk about climate change, but the most important thing is your comfort. We want to get rid of this, and that's not possible unless we slowly start going away from things that we burn. The leaders in this space are the Chinese. This graphic, I think, famously depicts of where we are going. No one believed China would be the dragon that it is. $13 trillion of output, number 2 economy in the world. The question is not if, but when will it become the biggest economy in the world. What am I looking at here? This is a map of all the countries that rely on oil exports. They make income from selling oil. They are happy with a high oil price. I will suggest to you that every country you do not see, they prefer to go away from oil or to have a low oil price. I speak of Germany, I speak of Japan, I speak of Chile. The oil was discovered in Saudi Arabia, 1938. So prolific was this find. America, they would send the geologist to Saudi Arabia and they would ask, please tell us the significance of what has occurred in Saudi Arabia in 1938. They responded, "This is the greatest prize in all history." I will suggest to you, and I will ask you the question, what then could be even a greater prize? Something so magnificent that it's going to enable us to go away from fossil fuels. If you look at what they tell us, they say that demand, you and I, the consumer, will grow forever. I don't believe this. When you put in innovation, technology, fuel switching, the very things we speak about here at the Congreso Futuro, and this confuses people. But where are we going? Picture this in the theater of your mind. What is energy? Almost everything you buy comes with electricity sticking out the back of it. Let's take a look at this. It's beautiful, it really is. You get the point? Almost everything you buy comes with an electrical cord stuck out the back. And what will happen now in the future, we will pivot from those things that are made of oil to those things that are made with a cable. Big oil used to have sort of this thing, 100-year business with industry, where we look at the future of the automobile. It hasn't changed. Do you know that there are 6,000 to 7,000 components in an electric car? Look at them all. Here's the problem with that industry. There's no muffler. There's no spark plug. There's no belt. There's no chain. There's no service. Look how they make a car now. That's the electric car. Has 100 important things. But this is what we're doing. Not only is there governmental pressure, you also have the thing that keeps them awake by night. I speak of the incumbent automotriz industry. It's big tech. Big tech is far greater than all the incumbent businesses. Who's leading who? If you look at the biggest companies in the world, it's all technology. If we looked at this list over the past 100 years, it would consistently be big oil. No longer. Technology and innovation, and they're no different with how we all think. There is $5 trillion, with a T, of money that is pledged to divest from fossil fuel, but what will they do? What I suggest to every person, I don't care how capital G green you are, what you must accept, when we go away from the fossil fuel, we go to electricity. And this electricity needs copper, cobre. This is science, and this is something we cannot change. Those that know it the best, that have depended on it the longest, they know that. It's him, Mr. Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud. Does everyone agree that this is the largest petroleum state in the world? Does everyone agree that they have 100 years of reserves of this product? But what most people don't realize is they are now divesting into other things, technology. What Saudi Arabia was for the last 100 years, my friends, is what Chile, Peru, and places that have cobre. Cobre is the absolute necessity for the future of energy, because all green energy, I don't care how you think about it, it's electricidad. It must have cobre. I give you scientific reasoning. Motorization is where energy is used. 55% of every oil consumed in the world is used in a motor. If you make it more efficient, you use less oil. When you switch it, you go to electricity. When you make an electricity motor more efficient, you use more cobre. If you look at the wind and solar, you drive by, I see cobre. 500% more copper each time there's a wind park. If it's an offshore wind park, it has 10 times more copper than conventional forms of energy creation. And if you look at the efficiency, I hate math. I never took math. It's a big, complicated formula. But the point is, when you make something that is electric more efficient, you take the aluminum away and you use cobre. And of course, the fourth one, the invisible hand. In every small village will be more and more copper. Remarkable, irreplaceable, and copper is infinitely recyclable. Julius Caesar didn't throw his copper away. Napoleon Bonaparte did not throw his copper away. To this very day, if you have copper, you recycle it, almost all of it. And we're going to need a lot more in the future. But where do they come from? If the demand of these two products is totally different. Let me tell you another secret that most people don't know. It's not a secret, it's just a fact. The world's oil supply comes from 4,700,000 wells. 50% of primary copper comes from 25 copper mines. It's very special. What you have in your industries here is extremely special, and it will have more value, and it has extreme necessity for all of mankind. You must always remember this, and when you talk about decisions that are made in the oil business, we would have to have a stadium of soccer of people in management. But in the copper business, very few people, because it's very rare. It only occurs in large quantities in so many places. And the biggest winner will be you and the quality of your life. Because if you want clean air like this in Santiago and everywhere in the world, we need more and more electricity. My name is Gianni Kovacevic. This is a copy of my book. It's going to be on audible.com in the next 2 weeks. You can follow me on Twitter. And remember, all the young people, they need to learn about electricity. Thank you, everyone.